Preparing for your unit circle test review here, what we should start with is the fact of just knowing what each one of the trig functions mean in the general case. And that just means when you look at your unit circle, when you look for sine, you look for the y value. When you look for cosine, you look for the x value. Tangent is you dividing them, y divided by x. Cosecant, secant, and cotangent are just the reciprocals of their corresponding ones. So 1 over y, 1 over x, and then the flip of tangent is x over y. Now, when we're using these to actually find a unit circle, these problems, they just wanted you to find the point that corresponds to this number. So, all you need to do is find 2 pi over 3, here it is right here, and you write down what the ordered pair is. Negative 1/2, comma, root 3 over 2. 10 pi over 6, well, 10 pi over 6 doesn't exist on my unit circle, so first thing I should try to do is reduce it. So when I reduce it, it would become 5 pi over 3, and that one is on the unit circle. 5 pi over 3 is down here, 300 degrees. This ordered pair is positive 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. So the same as the last answer, just the signs are reversed. Negative pi over 4, you have two options. Well, here's positive pi over 4, so negative is that same amount going in this direction, which is at 315. The other thing I can do is add 2 pi to this, which means if I made a common denominator, it would be 8 pi over 4. Which means I'm now looking at an angle of 7 pi over 4, which again is what it would have been if I had gone the opposite direction. So just read off that ordered pair, which is square root 2 over 2 and negative square root 2 over 2. Okay, 3 pi over 2 is right on this boundary here. That's an easy one. We just read it off as 0, negative 1. 8 pi over 4, I'm going to rewrite that. I can just divide that out and I get 2 pi. Well, where does 2 pi show up? Right at the beginning of our unit circle. So that's 1 comma 0. And then 11 pi over 4 is too much. I need to subtract 2 pi. Again, get my common denominator of 4. That means my numerator is now 8. And that means I should get, when I subtract 3 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4 shows up over here. So my answer ends up being should be negative root 2 over 2, comma positive root 2 over 2. As I move forward here, in these ones, I just need to find the sine, cosine, tangent, and all these values. Well, we just did 3 pi over 4 right here. Find the sine, I do the y value. So that's the square root of 2 over 2. Cosine is the x value, the negative square root of 2 over 2. And my tangent, I just divide these two guys. Well, when I divide them, the same number, it just becomes 1. However, I do have a negative, so my answer is negative 1. Now, to get the reciprocals, I just need to flip them. Well, let's start with the cotangent. The flip of tangent is the exact same thing in this case. 1 over 1 is still 1 over 1. When I flip these guys, it now becomes 2 over the square root of 2. I need to rationalize those. So multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 2 over 2. That means my answer is 2 square roots of 2 over 2. My 2's cancel out, so that just leaves me with the square root of 2. Secant then, it's the same number, so I should get the same thing. Negative, though, square root of 2, because this here was negative. At pi over 2, that's 90 degrees. The y value, sine, is 1. The x value, cosine, is 0. Tangent is 1 divided by 0, y over x. Well, I can't divide by 0, that's undefined. When I do it this way, the flip of 1, remember this is just 1 over 1, so the reciprocal is the same thing. When I do the reciprocal of 0, this is like 0 over 1, so that means I get 1 over 0, or undefined. I need to say undefined. And then again, just like we see here, the reciprocal of 1 over 0 is 0 over 1, which is just 0. 13, negative pi over 3. I'm going to first change that into, by adding 2 pi, which means I need my common denominator of 3, making that 6. So I should look at 5 pi over 3 for my angle here. So when I look at 5 pi over 3, I need to find 5 pi over 3, which is down here at 300 degrees. The y value is negative square root 3 over 2. The x value, cosine, is 1/2. When I divide, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip and multiply. So I'll do negative root 3 over 2 multiplied by 2 over 1. My 2's will cancel out. I'm left with negative square root of 3 as my answer. So now as I flip them, 2 over the square root of 3, negative. This becomes 2 over 1, which is just 2. And this becomes negative 1 over the square root of 3. I need to rationalize the first and third ones here. So multiplying by root 3 over 3 in both cases. Root 3 over root 3, I should say. And when I get my answers here, this becomes negative 2 square roots of 3 over 3. And this guy here will become negative square root of 3 over 3. Three more of the same ideas here. 10 pi over 6, I'm going to try to reduce that first, and it's going to become 5 pi over 3. And guess what? That's the exact same answers we just had from the last one. So I should have here negative 1/2. Or did I say that right? No, I have that backwards. My fault. The negative 1/2 should be for the for this cosine value, and it's positive 1/2. So cosine's positive 1/2. Sine was negative root 3 over 2. We said this guy was negative square root of 3. This became negative root 3 over 3. Secant became positive 2, and this guy became negative 2 square roots of 3 over 3. In 15, for 5 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6 here at 150 degrees, y value for sine is 1/2. X value for cosine, negative square root of 3 over 2. And tangent, when I divide them, same thing, I'll do it up here. If I have 1/2 divided by root 3 over 2, that means multiply by 2 over the square root of 3. So that means I get as my answer 1 over the square root of 3. And it was negative here, so that should be negative as well. So negative 1 over the square root of 3. It means if I flip that, I can flip it right now and just get negative square root of 3 immediately as my answer. I can also flip cosecant, which is 2, and I can flip secant, which is negative 2 over the square root of 3. But now let's, after doing all that, see what I need to rationalize. I need to rationalize tangent, and I need to rationalize secant. So I'll do that. When I do that, I should get, for tangent, I should get negative square root of 3 over 3. And for this one here, for secant, negative 2 square roots of 3 over 3. All right, and the last one, number 16, negative 5 pi over 6. We'll start by getting that into something that's on our unit circle. I'll add 2 pi. My common denominator is going to be 6, so multiply 2 by 6 to get 12. That means I have 7 pi over 6 as the angle that I am looking at here. 7 pi over 6. So that means my ordered pair comes from right here. Negative 3 over root 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. So my sine value, the y value there, is negative 1/2. I get negative root 3 over 2 for cosine. When I do that division, just like we did actually right here, I get the same thing. Negative 1 over the square root of 3, which, same idea, rationalizes to be negative square root of 3 over 3. In this case, though, it was negative divided by negative, so I should be getting positive numbers from both of those. Positive root 3 over 3. When I flip them around, that becomes square root of 3. This becomes negative 2 square roots of 3 over 3. Again, same thing, having to rationalize this. And this guy will become a negative 2. All right, and finally, last one. All you have to do is plug these into your calculator and then round it. Make sure to check and see your mode. What mode are you in? If it has a degree symbol, then you should be in degree mode. These ones do not have degree symbols, therefore, they are not degrees, they are radians. So, just so you can see, if I need to find sine, cosine, and tangent of each of these, so sine of 3 pi over 7, cosine of 3 pi over 7, and tangent of 3 pi over 7. When I type these into the calculator, sine ends up being 0.975 if I round to 3 spots. This will be 0.223, and this one here, tangent 4.381. Same for here. If I did sine, cosine, and tangent of these ones, which are 9 pi over 11, that's the angle I'm doing for both of these, or for all 3 of these, I should say. When I just type it into a calculator, all I get, 0.541 for sine. I should get negative 0.841 for cosine, and negative 0.643 for my tangent values. Now, just out of interest here, if I say I wanted secant instead, all I would need to do is 1 over the cosine of 3 pi over 7. So whatever number I get here, then just type in 1 divided by that. And I would get my answer for that, which would be about 5 point something or other. That's the idea for that. And the last thing, if I wanted to prove something was on the unit circle, let's say I had the 0.1/2, comma, the square root of 3 over 2. To prove it's on the unit circle, I just need to square both numbers. Square 1/2, square the square root of 3 over 2, and it should be the same as our unit squared, which is 1 squared. So when I do that, 1/4, I distribute that square. This here becomes 3 over 4. Is that the same as 1? Yes, it is. 1 equals 1. That's what I need to do. So these are the type of problems that you will see tomorrow on your test. Best of luck, and take care of business.